What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are new to the channel, I am your host, as always, Rasheed White. All right, so Colin Cowherd actually takes a stab at Michael Jordan. I'm talking about with a ninja sword, not even with a knife, man, because we're going to get into a lot of stuff over here. And here's Colin Cowherd talking trash about Michael Jordan. I don't know, man. He's just... I think sometimes Colin Cowherd could be, like, really heavily medicated sometimes.
So he tried baseball. He failed. He tried ownership. He was awful. He tried the Wizards. It bombed. Everybody understand that take out Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson, this whole Michael Jordan mythology is sort of just that. He's arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. Michael was always a bit of a selfish player. He's a bit of a selfish guy, and he's not great at building community. He's great at building wealth for Michael Jordan. That's fine. It's not a criticism. It's a reality of who Michael is.
All right, so getting to this point, basically saying like, oh, he needs Scottie and Phil Jackson. Listen, everybody needs everybody. Basketball, one, it's a team sport. It's not an individual sport. And he goes on with LeBron rants. LeBron needed Kyrie Irving. LeBron needed Dwayne Wade. He needed Chris Bosh. He needed Kevin Love. You know, he needed Anthony Davis. You know, you can't go on the basketball court. Let's say if you go and actually play a pickup game and say that, oh, well, I'm going to pick the most garbage players. You need players, man. You know, so what Colin Cowherd is actually saying is really, really absurd. But let's get into something else over here. This is another one saying, This is how much Colin Cowherd actually flip-flops right here. This man is too much. I did multiple videos on him, and he goes on a KD rant a lot of times. And where we go? Let's listen to this right here.
Colin Cowherd. I'm going to show you what Colin had said before and what he's saying right now.
Then LeBron comes in, and after 4 or 5 years, and you don't want to admit this, but he could do a bunch of stuff Michael couldn't. He's a bigger, stronger Michael. And for the record, I watched both. I'm not 22 years old. There are a lot of things LeBron does much better than Michael. I've always said this. If Michael played today with Twitter, you watched Michael and then responded directly to Michael, you took shots at Michael, you wouldn't like Michael as much. And he would be a lot like Westbrook. Michael's great, don't get me wrong. But when you put the magnifying glass on LeBron, he just does a lot more at a much higher level than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever. Is that, and this is a message because people my age know what I'm about to say. But most 20-year-olds in the media and most 18, 19-year-olds, there's a message in this whole damn thing. Michael Jordan's the best basketball player ever. And he had obstacles the whole way.
Another thing, Skip, I'm watching, and I know, look, like I said, I met Michael Jordan and the aura around him. He's as close to a godlike figure that I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. But Skip, the aura around him, and the way people reacted when he came into a building or he walked past them down the street. Skip, I can honestly say this. Just like there'll never be another Tiger Woods, there'll never be another Muhammad Ali, but nobody will ever have that kind of cachet. Skip, nothing like this. But Skip, this was unbelievable. And to see what drove him and how it just like, and he said something, Skip, he like, and I was reading where he said, if I find somebody would have got a weakness, I take advantage of it. And I take advantage of it again, and again, and again, and again. He says, I don't let up. And he wanted to win at all costs.
Here's a video of Steven Jackson talking about the GOAT and who he thinks it is.
All right, so basically that actually shows how much of a hypocrite Colin Cowherd is. LeBron James is nowhere near MJ's level. I did a couple of videos on this, just breaking down why that's the actual case. The fundamentals is not there for LeBron James. Off ball, LeBron is not as good as MJ. Post up, LeBron is not as good as MJ. Mid-range shooting, MJ better. Passing, just as good as LeBron James, if not even better. Man, defensively, MJ. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is. I don't know why Colin Cowherd would actually say something like this, man. Like I said, to me, I think he's really highly medicated. You know, taking some type of maybe some psychotic drugs or something like that. You know, maybe he's bipolar. You know, he just says one thing and then says another, and then I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that man. But every great player. I mean, Tim Duncan had a team around him. You know, you need good role players, and then good role players that actually understand their role. So let's say if you have a shooter that's a shooter, you know, and that's what he's great at. That's what got him into the NBA, and then he tries to do other things like, let's say, drive to the basket and try to take it to the hole and gets blocked all the time. You know, you need guys that actually understand their roles when they actually playing basketball. And yeah, he's bugging when he's saying like, oh, you know, Scottie Pippen was a great player, but look, he went to the he took his team. I think when MJ retired after that, and he didn't even get to the finals. All right, so I think if you subtract Scottie Pippen and then put MJ in that position, they get to the finals. All right, so I mean, MJ was a problem, and there's not going to be another MJ, just like there won't be another Michael Jackson. I mean, other people tried, you know, especially like the Jackson 5 back in the 1980s. I mean, they tried, they couldn't come close. So I'll wrap this video up. Like, comment, subscribe, certainly share this video, and when you share, the universe certainly shares back with you.